What up, YouTube? It's yo man, diet version of Moist Critical if he was Hispanic and he wore a Yankees hat. That being said, we're going to be talking about Red Note because I think it is the most funniest thing to happen in 2025 and the biggest middle finger to the US government. It's actually insane. Like, it's an absolute cinema in terms of just how funny this is. Anyways, I'm going to show a CNBC clip in which a lady talks more about in depth and kind of breaks it down, and I will give my thoughts about it. So roll the clip.
Hey, Carl. So there's an app that our audience should know now. It's called Red Note. And as of this morning, it is still #1 on Apple's App Store, highlighting really this classic lawmaker dilemma. As lawmakers are looking to regulate or ban what they see as the current threat, users have already moved on. And in this case, they moved on to an app far more Chinese than TikTok.
Keyword there, lawmaker dilemma. It's a lawmaker nightmare. Imagine you are a U.S. policy legislator, lawmaker, whatever, working on this piece of legislation for years, only for an app to spiritually succeed beyond TikTok, and it's more Chinese than the original one that you're trying to ban. It's like they say you cut off a snake's head and then two grow back or something like that. I don't know. Don't make that into a hopeless core edit, please. Anyways, just imagine you work tirelessly day in and day out and getting a app banned due to security reasons for your own people, whatever, only for the reason you banned the first app in the first place gets replaced by another app that is way worse. It's literally in Chinese. It's Red Note. The translation is Red Note. But here's a funny thing, and I just found out after watching this video, is what does it actually translate to really? And I'll let the lady talk about it more.
It's known to Americans as Red Note, but its Chinese name, Xiaohongshu, literally translates into Little Red Book, as in Mao Zedong's Guide to Communist Ideology and Revolutionary Principles, a symbol of Chinese communist propaganda.
A symbolism of Chinese propaganda? Imagine if McCarthy was still alive to this day. He is rolling in his grave. The red communist scare is back, folks. We are so back as a nation. We're not even 15 days into the new year. We're halfway into the first month, and we're already going to have a Chinese communist red scare, I should say. I'm sorry. If McCarthy was here, man, he would be throwing hands right now. I'm just saying, it's so funny to think that back then in the 60s and 70s, you had this whole communist scare. And now you have an app that literally is Mao Zedong's whatever communist whatever thing. It's the fact that you are eliminating TikTok, which I get it that they want to have U.S. Ownership, or a U.S. company have ownership over it, whatever. But TikTok has its subsidiaries within the United States. It's not like it's entirely governed by the U.S. by the Chinese government. The CCP does not have its regulations over it, like this app, which they will explain more in this video. The regulations that they have, which is absolutely insane. I've seen it in Twitter posts where people try to post the Tibet or Tiananmen Square or all other things that is a no-no for the CCP, and it gives you -50 social credit because clearly I do not condone these things. Please, CCP, do not go after my family. FBI agent is listening to me right now. I'm not a Chinese spy agent. I'm not a sleeper agent, please, because that's totally what one would say. Oh my God. Anyways, I mean, the point is really just that this app, it's so much worse. And just imagine you're a lawmaker who just got bamboozled. Like, all your work was for nothing. Absolutely nothing. You have no idea how these people are feeling right now. Because I can only imagine how much of a clown they are feeling right now. Like, sure, the app's going to get banned by next Monday. And now you've got this to worry about. And it took so long to get TikTok banned. How long is it going to take for this one? Which I honestly, knowing how the CIA and FBI work it out in terms of wanting control over social media and not wanting another communist revolution in their own land since the 70s. Anyways, they talk more in this video about the how Chinese users are accepting American users in their own space, because Red Note has its international users base prior to this whole TikTok and the whole migration of people going over to Red Note. This happened before, where there was already an international base or international user on the app, but now you got a flood of I'm probably gonna say millions of people getting on this app. So let's put on our thinking caps to wonder what's going to happen. What's the result of this?
This is the app. Open it up and it looks like Instagram meets TikTok meets Reddit, but with a lot more Chinese language content, and very welcoming, by the way, to American users. Here's a scroll through Tech Check producer Jasmine's Red Note feed this morning.
Hi, TikTok refugee. First of all, I want to say welcome to Xiaohongshu, welcome to Redbook. When I open this app,
you'll see a few more videos here, all sort of welcoming self-proclaimed TikTok refugees. And another one, an American TikTok refugee posted a guide to using Redbook and says the Chinese people on this app, they don't want us to talk about politics because they're not allowed to talk about politics.
That's the funny thing about this app, is when people realize that this has government regulations. Like, I think something along the lines that Tencent are owners, and everyone knows about Tencent, especially in the gaming community, just how much of a monopoly they are. Although it's hypocritical to say that, because you have other companies that are also monopolies in the gaming industry. But it's just so funny to think that you've got people who are going on this app, and like I said earlier, talk about Tibet, the Tiananmen Square, politics, LGBT, especially LGBT content, from what I've heard. You have all these people trying to like pull off the shit that they do on TikTok and do it in Red Note, and it's not flying. You've got people getting suspended left and right because it's violating community guidelines from that app. And like I said, I've been saying about the CCP and the Chinese government or whatever, that they have control over that app. I might be wrong. I might be spewing shit out of my ass and just hopefully one lands on the wall and sticking it. But I'm pretty sure there are some regulations there from the government. I just find it funny, just the interaction between two very different culture and just clashing together. Because when you think about it, this is the biggest social experiment you can think about. Like, forget about Facebook, forget about MySpace, all right? Because that was of its own time. Red Note is here, and this is the future. You've got all this Chinese user base, and now being being mixed with Americans. And you have this result of just us, I'm going to say diplomatic meeting, but it's just, hold on. I think my dad's phone got a notification. Anyways, it's just so funny to think how much of a social experiment when you think about it, because like literally I bet you we're going to have 20 years from here on out. You have people, professors have students write essays and stuff. And once again, my dad's phone is going off. And have students talk about how much of a social, cultural hot pot, whatever, in terms of people from TikTok going on to Red Note, and it's just a bunch of Americans talking to Chinese users online. And like, I've never seen this before, and I bet you haven't either. But like I said, it's going to be on a thesis paper sometime in the future. But anyways, this lady then goes on talking about, how users are, friendly and whatnot. But then she also goes into the company. So I mentioned Tencent, right? So I'll let her keep going.
Now, in other words, as a Chinese app, it is heavily censored. TikTok at least was the American version of a Chinese app with more American rules. Red Note had few international users until about a few months ago.
And I just want to pause right there. That's the thing. Chinese companies are more prevalent with Red Note rather than with TikTok. And it's like, okay, so what were these lawmakers thinking? How did they not see this coming? Anyways, I just want to say that quickly.
According to PitchBook, it was last valued at $17 billion and backed by Chinese internet giants Alibaba and Tencent, as well as Silicon Valley VCs, DST, and Notable Capital, which was spun out of GGV amid growing U.S.-China tensions.
See, that's what I'm saying. Backed by Chinese companies, Alibaba and Tencent. Like, they're like, from what I know more about Tencent from gaming side, but Alibaba, I've also heard how big it is. Like, it's just incredibly huge in terms of its, I guess, control in Chinese media.
Now, Tencent, which has been an investor in RedNote since 2016, was just last week added to the U.S. Defense Department's list of companies allegedly working with China's military. This is something that Tencent refutes.
So see, like, that's the thing. These companies with the Chinese military, which is also connected to the Chinese government. Anyways, that's just and they refute it or whatever. But like, come on. No one was born yesterday.
But you look at ByteDance's cap table by contrast, it does not include Tencent, and it does include many more American firms, suggesting that TikTok, despite all of its controversies, operates with greater transparency and alignment to Western norms compared to RedNote. It is the paradoxically safer bet if RedNote continues to gain traction here.
And see, that's the thing. If TikTok was the safer option, why get rid of it? Why give users onto a even more Chinese app, a more, I guess, Chinese information tracking, giving data, whatnot, and you're just gonna let that slide? I'm sorry, but the point of the video that I'm trying to really say is just how much of a clown the U.S. government is looking right now. Because respectfully, they dropped the ball. Like, how do you just ass backwards, just not able to comprehend what you just did? Because I can guarantee you that people or lawmakers are right now scrambling and shaking their heads thinking, shit, we fucked up. Now we gotta reverse this. I bet you 5 clams. Is it possible that the U.S. government reverses their decision and instead they go on RedNote? They will decide to ban RedNote. I think that would be the most funniest thing ever if you think about it. Like, they could do the most funniest thing ever, which is reverse ban on TikTok and then ban RedNote. Because if the whole point of them not wanting Chinese influence on its people, it's more prevalent with RedNote. It's literally in the headmask. It's in Chinese. The name is in Chinese. And yet TikTok is getting killed off. Anyways, I think there was a tweet by Mr. Beast. He said himself that he was meeting with investors or whatever, that, to buy out TikTok. So if Mr. Beast actually saves TikTok, which when you think about it is a good thing and a way, way concerning thing. The good thing is TikTok stays alive. A lot of people are affected by this because let me say this, devil's advocate here. You have a lot of people whose not live, I guess livelihood depend they depend on the app, right? They have their own fan base, but remember, a lot of them also use TikTok as a way of e-commerce. They sell, they set up their stores or they advertise their products, their merchandise through TikTok, and it's another form of networking. And to be honest, it's kind of sad that, a whole app gets banned due to, I guess, Chinese spyware, malware, that they're going to brainwash my brain through my For You page. And then they're going to activate my sleeper agent code. And then I'm going to go, I cannot say that on YouTube, but something really bad to the state or whatever. Anyways, that's just a joke to my FBI agent. Please, please, please. It's just a joke. The fact is, it doesn't matter because a lot of it just comes down to just, I guess, whatever the government wants to do. And it's just sad to see that a lot of people are going to get impacted by it. And I truly, my hearts go out to the people who are affected. Hopefully they find other places, places, I guess RedNote is one of them, but TikTok, I'm sorry, why am I saying TikTok? YouTube, Instagram Reels, all those type of stuff. Because hopefully they find a footing, and hopefully they can keep doing what they're doing in terms of their business. But apart from that, it is what it is. So just remember, guys, as much as it's a joke that TikTok goes away, people are affected unfortunately by this, and you gotta think about all sides of the argument. That being said, as much as like I said that if Mr. Beast buys out TikTok, the bad thing is we're gonna get thrown so many Feastables and Lunchly's advertisement. It's gonna be insane. Also Prime too, because Mr. Beast works with Prime. With the Lunchly product. You open up TikTok and it's like, welcome. Are you hungry for some Feastables? Go to your local 7-Eleven and get a 50% off with this discount or whatever. Or go to your local Walgreens or Walmart or whatever and get yourself a Lunchly, buy one get one free. It's a new age. I just want to say my 2 cents on that. I wanted to yap for a little bit because I think it's just incredibly funny. And I gotta say it, as a poli-sci major, I thought this is a very interesting moment in terms of U.S. government and U.S. Political, what's the word here? Aggression in a way when you think about it, because how aggressive they've been in order to like get control over TikTok. But just overall, we're living in a history where you got a whole ass government trying to ban an app, and this happens around the world obviously, but in this instance with the US and TikTok being such a big headline, and just and get another app up and running that is way worse than TikTok, and everyone's going there. It's like you did the opposite of what you were trying to do. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. Hit that like button, and if you enjoy me yapping, would love you guys to subscribe. And also, just so you know, this is not the type of content that I'll be making. Depending on if this does numbers, if this absolutely is a banger, maybe I will do more. I don't know. I do SCP Secret Laboratory videos. I do Roblox Shorts videos. I do Minecraft Hypixel videos. I even did Monopoly videos with friends. And so I do a lot of different. I'm a very variety creator, and this is like my first time ever doing a video like this. So yeah, that's it. We hit our 20-minute mark. So download Red Note. Get your Chinese spy agent back because they've been missing you. If you are off of TikTok, they need you. Give them employment. Download Red Note. And yeah, I mean, just stay safe on the internet. See ya.